Everyone, myself Dr. Anindu Sundar Das. I am working as Assistant Professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in Swami Vivekananda Institute of Science and Technology. First of all, let me welcome all of you in third semester. And this semester, I am going to teach you a subject that is known as network theory. The subject code, according to the MAGOUT syllabus, that is EC 304. Now, first point is, let us see that what is the course outcome of network theory. Now, after completion of this course, all of you should understand the basics of electrical circuits with nodal and mesh analysis. Second point is, all of you should appreciate electrical network theorems. You can analyze any kind of circuit. Then you can apply a Laplace transform for steady state and transient analysis. Now you will come to know about what the term steady state transient analysis later. And the fourth point is you can determine different network functions. And the last point, you will definitely appreciate the frequency domain techniques. So these are the 5 basic course outcomes of network theory subject. Now going into what is network theory, before that, let me just tell you some reference books of network theory. This is one of the best book. It is the old edition, but still it is the best. Franklin F. Kuo, and you can go for Van Valkenburg, network analysis. You can have this one, A. William Hyatt, engineering circuit analysis, or some books of Indian author also, Aswat Hussain and A. Sudhakar, S.P. Sam Mohan, and many other authors are also available, like A. Chakraborty and many others. Any one of the book you can follow, there is no problem. Now, let us go into the introduction part of network theory. Now, electrical circuit, basically, I think you know what is the meaning of electrical and circuit. Circuit is nothing but it is basically connection of some element together in a closed path, okay, and through which current will flow. Now, this electrical circuit and electromagnetic theory, these two are the two fundamental theories upon which all branches of electrical engineering are built. Okay. So, electromagnetic theory and electrical circuit, these two are very important. Many branches of electrical engineering, such as say, electrical machine, power system, control system, electronics, communications, instrumentation, all are basically based on electrical circuit theory. This is the basic fundamental subject, electric circuit theory or network theory. Therefore, this course can deal with electric circuit theory in most important course for electrical engineering and electronic engineering courses. The circuit theory or network theory is the most important course and always an excellent starting point for initiating students of electrical electronics engineering. So this is the basic level course and it is the foundation course. Now why it is very important? Because in case of electrical and electronics engineering, we all are often interested in communicating or transferring energy from one point to another, which requires an interconnection of electrical devices. Right, and there is a opportunity, there is a point that we can transfer energy wireless also. That is a different aspect. If it is through wire, then you have to analyze the electrical circuit. Now, such interconnection is referred to as electric circuit. That is, we have some electrical devices, those are connected in a closed loop so that current will pass, and and that is called electric circuit, and each component of the circuit is known as circuit element. So the circuit is composed of many circuit elements connected in a closed loop. Now let us take one example of that. Say in this picture, what we can see, we have a battery a lamp and connecting wires. We have a battery here. This is a lamp and connecting wires. This is a simple circuit that exists by itself and has several applications. Using a battery, we are making the lamp on and off. Okay, we can have some switch also here. So this is nothing but a closed path. This is an electrical circuit. And this circuit can be complicated. Say a complicated and practical circuit is displayed here. Okay. Now this is the representation of radio receiver. That means there is the antenna. So some electromagnetic wave will come here, and it will do some operations on that particular wave, and then microphone is connected, so we can listen to that. So it is coming from acoustic domain. Acoustic domain means a voice signal. Okay, antenna receive that. This antenna receive that and convert into electrical signal in voltage or current. Then some circuitry is there using transistors, inductor, capacitor, RLC, and transistor. Then it again converted back to acoustic signal. That is, we can listen to that particular voice. So this is a complicated, little bit complicated circuit. And this kind of circuit that we can analyze using electrical circuit theory. So if you know how to analyze the circuit, then we can solve for any kind of circuit. So now, through radio receiver seems complicated circuit, it can be analyzed using the analysis technique we are planning to learn in this course. Now here our goal is to learn various analytical techniques for describing the behavior of such electrical circuits. Now electric circuits are used in numerous electrical systems to accomplish different tasks. Our objective is in this course is not the study of various uses and applications of circuit. Rather, our major concern will remain the analysis of the circuit. So we are not going into the uses of a circuit or application of some kind of circuits, but what we are aiming is in this course, we have to learn the technique, analysis technique of the circuit. So by the analysis of a circuit, we mean a study of the behavior of the circuit. Okay, that means how does it respond to a given input, or what is the response to a given excitation. In a circuit, we are giving some excitation and we are getting some response. So that we have to see. Now, how the interconnected elements and devices in the circuit interact, that we have to see. Okay. We commence our study by defining some basic concepts. Okay. Now, these concepts include charge, current, voltage, power, and energy, and circuit elements. Now, what is charge, current, voltage, power, energy? All of this, I think you have studied in your previous courses, class 10 or 12. Okay, so I will take some time to discuss about the small point of what is charge, current, just for recapitulation. Before defining those concepts, we must first establish a system of units that we will use throughout the course. Now you know what is the system of units. That is, in electrical electronics engineers always deal with measurable quantities that must be communicated in a standard language so that it can be interpreted universally throughout the world. That means, say, current. Now what is current? What is the unit of that? That is nothing but ampere. So that ampere is the, whenever you say ampere, that means it is nothing but current. So that we can, a universal language. This is an universal language. Now such an international measurement language is the International System of Units, or SI unit, that is adopted in 1960. You know that. Now in this system, there are 7 principal units mutually independent of each other, from which units of all other physical quantities can be derived. And one of the advantage of SI unit is that it uses prefixes based on the power of 10. So 10, then 100, then 1000. Now what is the relation between 10 and 1000? That we can find out. And see if it is more than that, then what will happen? If it is below 10, say it is 0.0001, then what should be the unit? So that we have to learn. So in that case, the basic units are length in meter, mass in kilogram, time in seconds, electric current in ampere, symbol is here, meter is small m, kg, s, current A, ampere, thermodynamic temperature, Kelvin, K, luminous intensity, candela, CD, charge, coulomb, C. Now there are some derived units in SI. Frequency, what is the unit of that? Hertz, that is second inverse. S to the power minus 1, that is nothing but 1 by S. So it can be called as S inverse. Force, Newton, formula is or unit is kg meter per second square. Energy or work, joule, Newton meter, power, watt or joule per second. Electric charge, coulomb, ampere second. Electric potential, volt, that is joule per coulomb. Electric field, volt per meter. Electric resistance, that is ohm, volt per ampere. Electric conductance, that unit is Siemens, that is volt per ampere inverse or 1 by ohm. Resistance, 1 by resistance is nothing but conductance. Then capacitance, the unit is farad. Magnetic flux, Weber. Inductance, Henry. Magnetic field, Tesla. These are the basic units that you have to remember forever. Okay. Now system of unit prefixes. Now this is nothing but prefix defines the multiples of 10 by which measured quantity is greater or lesser than the basic unit employed to describe it. Okay. So basic unit we can say 10 deca. Now if it is 10 to the power 2, that is called hecto. 10 to the power 3, it is called kilo. 10 to the power 6, it is called mega. 10 to the power 9, it is called giga. 10 to the power 12, it is called tera. 10 to the power 15, peta. 10 to the power 18, exa. I think you know these terms, that kilobyte. If you heard this term, that is mega, megahertz, gigahertz. You have already heard about that. Then kilobyte, GB, that is gigabyte. Okay. TB, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, that is like that. So that is now it is when 10 to the power 3 is kilo, 6 is mega, 9, 10 to the power 9 is giga, 12 tera, like that. Now similarly 10 to the power minus 3 is milli, 10 to the power minus 6 is micro, 10 to the power minus 6 is nano, 10 to the power minus 12 pico, 10 to the power 15 femto, 10 to the power 18 atto. So these are the multiplier, prefix and symbol. So this you have to remember. Okay, because we have to use kilo ohm or say in time microsecond, millisecond. So millisecond means 10 to the power minus 3 second. Micro means 10 to the power minus 6. Nanosecond means 10 to the power minus 9 second. If it is say kilo ohm, that means 10 to the power 3 ohm. Mega ohm, 10 to the power 6 ohm. So that is the multiplier. So that number becomes smaller. 10 to the power 3 means you have to put another 3 zeros, 1000 instead of 10 to the power 3. So number of zeros become lesser. So it is easy to write. Now the basic point is electric charge. Now this electric charge is the most elementary quantity that we analyze in any electrical circuit. That is charge. Now, electric charge, you know, it is a basic building block of electricity. Now, about charge already you have studied in 10 or 12. So I'm again just recapitulation that. Charge is found on subatomic particles such as electrons, protons, and neutrons. As you know about the subatomic particles, that is electrons, protons, and neutrons, where neutrons is electrically neutral. There is no charge, but electron and protons have charge. Proton has positive charge, electron has negative charge. Okay. Now it is the motion of charge in the circuit which is responsible for energy transfer among electrical components of an electrical circuit. Now In this case, you have to remember that law of conservation of charge states that charge can neither be created nor destroyed, only transferred. Okay. This is the main point. Thus, the algebraic sum of electric charges, the algebraic sum of the electric charges in a system does not change. It remains constant. The basic unit of charge is coulomb, where 1 coulomb is 1 ampere second. So what we can write is nothing but Q equal to I into T. I is current ampere into T second. Now charge of one single electron is minus 1.602 into 10 to minus 19 coulomb. Okay. So one electron is this 1.602 into 2 minus 19 coulomb is equal to 1 electron. Then 1 C equal to what? Nothing but 1 divided by this term. So if you take out from denominator to numerator, this becomes 10 to the power 19. So it becomes 18 because 1 by 1.602 is there. So we are getting 6.24 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. 1 coulomb equal to this much of electron. Okay. So that coulomb is defined as the quantity of electricity which flows past a given point in an electric circuit when a current of 1 ampere is maintained for 1 second. So mathematically what we can say, Q equal to I into T. Okay. Now where this I is current in amperes, T is the time in second. Now coulomb is large unit for charges. The realistic or laboratory values of charges are in the order of say picocoulomb, nanocoulomb, microcoulomb, like that. So picocoulomb means 10 to the minus 12, nano 10 to the minus 9, micro 10 to the minus 6. Okay. So just let's take two examples. Say for problem 1, what current must flow if 0.24 coulombs is to be transferred in 15 milliseconds? What is the current? Now Q equal to IT. That is the charge Q equal to nothing but I into T, current into time. Now, what is the current then? I equal to Q by T. The Q is what? 0.24 coulombs and 15 milliseconds. In millisecond, how you can write? 15 into 10 to the minus 3. So this is the beauty of this prefixes. Okay. This is the beauty of SI prefixes with multiplier. Okay. Then milli means 10 to the power minus 3 is milli. Okay. So 10 to the minus 3, it goes denominator to numerator 10 to the minus 3. Then you can calculate very easily. So you will get I equal to 16 amp. Now say just reverse order problem. If a current of 10 amp flows for 4 minutes, find the quantity of electricity transferred. Okay. That means how much charge is transferred. Quantity of electricity is charge, that is I into T coulomb. Okay. I is 10 ampere is given and time is for 1 minute. 4 minutes. 4 minutes means how many seconds? Now here always T you have to put it seconds. Okay. Now then what is the value of Q? Nothing but this much 2400 coulomb. Okay. Now, next point is electric current. I think already you know about this. What is electric current? Now the unique feature of electric charge is that it can be transferred from one place to another through a medium. But to do so, what we have to do? We have to apply electromotive force to push the positive charge just move in one direction and negative charges in the opposite direction. So this motion of charges creates electric current. The conventional current flow is basically based on the movement of positive charge, that is opposite to the flow of the negative charges, known as electronic current flow. Now, this is the battery, and in this there is a material where we have say electrons are moving. For this is positive electrode, it will attract those electrons from that particular material. So electrons will move right to left direction, and positive charge will move from left to right direction. Now, what is the conventional current flow that you have to keep? In that case, the conventional current is always according to the direction of flow of positive charge or opposite of the negative electron current flow. Electron flows from this direction, so conventional current flow is opposite direction, this one. So always current is flowing from positive to negative side of a battery, positive to negative side. Okay, that is the first point you have to remember. Now, in this course, we will follow the conventional current flow, that is the flow of positive charge or opposite of the flow of electrons. Electric current is defined as the time rate of change of charge and is measured in amperes. Mathematically, what you can write, I equal to dq by dt. That means rate of change of charge with respect to time. Okay. How much dq by dt, that is what rate of change of charge with respect to time, that is equal to I. Okay. Now current is measured in amperes. So 1 ampere equal to 1 coulomb divided per 1 second. Now from this particular equation or expression, we can find out Q very easily. How? Q will be equal to I of dt, dq equal to I of dt. Now Q equal to what? We have to integrate both sides. Then what you will get? Q equal to I dt. And here we can give the boundary condition t0 to t. Okay. That means so charge transfer between time t0 and t is obtained by integrating both sides of the equation, which yields Q equal to integration of t0 to t I of dt. That is how we can find out the value of Q. Now let us see the main point of electric current. The current that does not change, current or voltage we can both will applicable, but now let us consider on current. So current that does not change with respect to time but remains constant is called direct current or DC current. That means it remains constant forever up to t equal to infinity. Infinity time it remains constant. By convention, the symbol capital I used to represent constant current or constant DC current. My common source of DC current is a battery. Now time varying current is represented by a symbol small I. Generally, we can change that. There is no problem. Okay. A common form of time varying current is the sinusoidal current called alternating current. So here what you can see, this is nothing but a sine wave. Okay. So this is a alternating current. Why alternating? Because current becomes positive for some time and negative for some time. Again positive, again negative. It is alternating. So the mains power that is we are using in our household or in school, colleges, they are using this AC signal, not DC. Now in case of this AC signal, what is the frequency of that? Now you can see the frequency is nothing but 1 by capital T, where T is the time period. Now here time period means, now you can see this waveform from here it goes positive, then again it goes to negative, reaches zero, again positive. So if you take this only one cycle, that is consists of two parts, positive part, negative part, together one cycle, and this one cycle is repeated ever after. That means this is your time period. This one cycle is your time period. Okay. So F frequency will be equal to what? 1 by capital T. If this T equal to say 0.5, this is up to this is 0.5. Then for what will be the frequency? That will be 1 by 0.5, right? That is equal to 2 hertz, right? 1 by 2.5 is nothing but 2 hertz. Now what will be the frequency of DC then? Now here you can see that this is constant for up to infinity. That means what is the time period? It is not changing the value, constant. Time period is what? Up to infinity. So T becomes infinity. Now F equal to what? 1 by infinity, that is equal to 0. So frequency of DC signal is always 0. For AC signal, it can be any value except 0, it can be any value. It starts from 1 to some gigahertz, terahertz, or maybe petahertz, exahertz, 10 to minus 18, like that. Okay. Now, direction of current. The sign of the current indicates the direction. The sign of the current, whether it is plus 5 ampere, minus 5 ampere, that decide the direction of the current. Okay. So the sign of the current indicates the direction in which the charges are moving with reference to the direction of interest we define. Okay. So we need not use the direction that the charge moves in as our reference, and often have no choice in the matter. Now in that case, what we can do is simple thing. A positive current through a component is the same as the negative current flowing in the opposite direction. That means suppose you have current flowing from this point to this point to this direction, and value is 5 ampere. That means which side has higher potential, which side has lower potential. The current always flows from plus to minus, because this is the flow of positive charges. This is a higher potential, plus to minus, it is a plus 5 ampere current flow. Now, similarly, we can write this one as minus 5, but direction is opposite. That means this is a flow of, minus means flow of electron, or opposite of positively charged particle. So this is your minus 5 ampere. So if it is written as minus 5, that means here to here. So this one is positive, this one is negative. Now this point you have to take care, because in your circuit analysis you have to take care of the sign of plus 5 ampere minus whatever the value. According to that you have to do your calculation. Now voltage. Now electrons move when there is a difference in charge between two locations. This difference is expressed at the potential difference. This difference is expressed as the potential difference or voltage. To move the electron in conductor in a particular direction requires some work or energy transfer. So we have to do some work to move one electron from one position to another position. This work can be performed by an external electromotive force, by applying an external electromotive force, typically represented by a battery. The voltage is a measure of the work required to move a charge from one point to another in an electric circuit. Okay. That means V equal to W by Q. Okay. That means what work required to move a charge. Work required to move a charge, W by Q. Now thus the unit volt is defined as joule per coulomb or voltage, volt. So here W is the work, Q is the amount of charge. So 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per coulomb, or 1 Newton meter per coulomb. Okay, joule is also written as Newton meter. So the definition of a voltage is shared between static and flowing electrons. Okay. Now voltage is sometimes called as electric potential, because voltage represents the difference in electromotive force that can produce current in a circuit. Now in that case, what happens is, if you apply, if more voltage means more potential, or more potential for current. Okay. Now let us see in this figure. This is a, suppose say this is a circuit element. This is A is plus, B is minus, and it is written as V of AB. In suffix it is written AB. V is voltage, and written as AB means between the point A and B, where A is positive, as this is plus V of AB. Okay. A similar thing we can write as VAB equal to minus of V of BA. Okay. Now here it is minus, means this B is at lower potential than A. That's why it is minus. Okay. Say for example, In figure A, it is written as plus 9 volt. That means VAB is plus 9 volt. And here, what we can say minus 9 volt, that is BA is minus 9 volt. BA is minus 9 volt. And here AB is 9 volt. Both are same almost. Okay. So between, I mean, between a circuit element, whether it is plus or minus, we have to take care of that. Okay. Which side is higher potential, which is lower potential. If higher potential we have written in suffix first as a first suffix, then what happens? It will be positive. If vice versa, then it becomes negative. Okay. Now, current and voltage are two basic variables in electric circuits. Now, engineer prefers to call such variables as signals rather than mathematical function of time. So, like electric current, a constant voltage is called a DC voltage and is represented by capital V, whereas a sinusoidally time varying voltage is called an AC voltage and is represented by small v. That means this can be I or this can be V, this can be small I or it can be small v. It can be DC, it can be AC. So both current and voltage can be AC and DC. Okay. The DC voltage is commonly produced by a battery, AC voltage is produced by an electric generator. I think you have studied about the electrical DC electrical machines, AC alternator, okay, in your basic electrical course. Now say power. Now power is rate at which work is done or rate at which energy is converted from one form to another form. Or else we can say there is a rate at which work is done. It means amount of work it is done with respect to time. So P equal to dw by dt. Okay. Now this dw by dt we can write as dw by dq into dq by dt. So dq cancel out. That will become dw by dt. And here there is interesting point is the dw by dq is nothing but v and I equal to dq by dt. So it is vi. So power is nothing but v into I. Simple thing. Okay. Now power unit is watts, that is joule per second. Work by time. W joule, T time, V voltage, I current. Thus power absorbed or supplied by an element is the product of voltage across the element and the current that flows through it. Now power can be positive sign or that means it is being delivered. Power is delivered or absorbed by the element. It is a positive sign, positive power. Now power can be negative also. That means this power is being supplied by the element. Now by the element power supplied means battery is supplying power, generator is supplying power. In some cases, okay. Now let us take the example power and energy. How do you know when the power has a negative or positive sign? The current direction and voltage polarity play a major role in determining the sign of power. So always you have to take care the role of direction of or polarity of voltage and current in case of DC especially. Okay. Now in that case, what we can see, this is a circuit element. Okay. Now this is a plus and minus. Current is flowing this direction. That means what? From plus, current is leaving. Okay. So current always flow from higher potential to lower potential. Positive higher potential, negative lower potential. Current is flowing this direction. So it is plus VI. And here what we can see that V is also positive, I also positive. Now here what you can see current is flowing from negative to positive. Now this current is electronic current or electron current. This is not for positive charge current. That means this current we have to take it minus. So V into minus I minus VI. Okay. So relationship between current I and V in figure A provides the reference polarities for power using the passive convention. Okay. Now we can take example of that. Say for this figure, what happened? Current this is plus, current is going from plus to minus, so it is positive power. And here what we can see, current is entering into negative, so it is coming from positive. So again this current is positive, so and voltage is, you can say, also positive, so this is positive. Both cases are positive power. Now here what we can see is at positive current is entering. That means it is negative current, right? So this power become V into I become minus, and here from negative it is leaving. From negative current, conventional current cannot leave. Okay, that must leave from positive. So it is also negative. So by analyzing the circuit, current is positive or negative, you can find out whether it is active power, positive power or negative power. Okay. Now, positive power means it delivered to or absorbed by the element. Okay, absorbed power. Negative power means it is supplied to the element. Now, power and energy. Law of conservation of energy must be obeyed in any electric circuit. For this reason, the algebraic sum of power in a circuit at any instant of time must be zero. That is, summation of power should be equal to zero. Okay. Now, this also confirms the fact that the total power supplied to the circuit must be balanced the total power absorbed. That means whatever the power, how much power we are supplying to any circuit and how much power we are absorbing in within the circuit, that must balance. Ultimate summation must be equal to zero. Now energy. Energy is the capacity to do work, okay, and measured in joules. So the energy absorbed or supplied by an element from time t0 to time t is given by, now P equal to what we can say, dw by dt. So what will be the energy W? W is nothing but P dt, and we have to integrate that to get W. So W equal to P dt integration with boundary condition. P equal to, you can write VI. So electric power utility companies measure the energy in watt hour. Where 1 watt hour equal to 300, 600, 3600 joules. So so in watt hour. Because we have dt in place. Now let us see some problem. An energy source forces a constant current of 2 ampere for 10 seconds to flow through a light bulb. If 2.3 kilojoule is given off in the form of light and heat energy, calculate the voltage drop across the bulb. Total charge. Now, what is the current flowing is 2 ampere, time is 10 seconds. Right? So we know I, we know T. Now we can find out the value of Q. Q equal to nothing but I into T. That will be 20 coulomb. Now what you have to find out? We have to find out voltage drop, right? And this is the kilojoule. 2.3 kilojoule is given in the form of light or heat energy. That is the energy. So that is W. So V equal to what? W by Q. We have already found out Q. W is given 2.3 kilojoule. So 2.3 into kilo means 10 to the power 3. So again, see, we are using this kilo term. Okay. And if you calculate, you will get 115 volt. Now find the power delivered to an element at t equal to 3 milliseconds. If current entering its positive terminal is I equal to 5 cosine of 60 pi t ampere, and voltage is V equal to 3I or V equal to 3 di dt. That means voltage for first condition, voltage is 3I. I is given, so 3 into I, so 3 into 5, 15 into cosine term. Power will be what? P equal to nothing but V into I. So this is your V into I. So this I you have to multiply. So 15 into 5, 75 into cosine and cosine, so cosine square. Okay. At 3 millisecond, what is the power P you have to find out. So T you have to put as 3 millisecond. So here they have put it as 0.003 instead of 3 into 10 to minus 3. Okay. So now you can calculate that and you will get the result. A similar thing we can do for second case, V equal to 3 di dt. Now this is your I. You have to find out di dt. So you have to differentiate 5 cosine 60 pi t with with respect to t. If you then do that, what we will get? Sine becomes cosine of time, cosine of 60 pi t becomes minus sine of 60 pi t, and another term minus 60 pi will come here. So you will get this as voltage, then P into VI. So you have to multiply this V into I. Okay, 900 into 5, so 4500. That is the value. Then at t equal to 3 millisecond, you have to put, and you will get that value. So here we have sine term, cosine term, multiply both. So we have sine and cosine time here also. Then putting the value, we will get this. Now here what we can see, your P is positive plus. So this amount is absorbed. And here P is found as negative because here we are getting negative term because of integrated in differentiation of the current. Okay. So here energy is supplied, here energy is absorbed. Okay. Now next problem is how much energy does a 100-watt electric bulb consume in 2 hours? Okay. So 100-watt electric bulb. So energy W is nothing but P into T. So the 100-watt into 2 hours convert into second. 2 into 60 into 60. So that will be 720,000 joule. Instead of that, we can write here 3 zeros means 10 to the power 3, that is kilo. So 720 kilojoule. So this is same as W into PT. You can write as 100 watt into 2 hours. So 200 watt hour. So this 200 watt hour and 720 kilojoule both are the same. Okay. But it is written in kilojoule format, it is written in watt hour format. Okay. Now say a current flowing through a wire depends on time as I equal to 3t square plus 2t plus 5. Now the charge flowing through the cross section of the wire in time from t0 to 2 seconds is. So what you have to find out? You have to find out what is the value of charge flowing. As we know, current. Now current is I equal to dq by dt. Now charge equal to what? Integration of I of dt. Right? What is the given? I is given. Time interval is given t equal to 0 and 2 seconds. We know that I equal to dq dt. So charge equal to what? Q equal to integration of I dt. The limit we can put 0 to 2 seconds. Now if we integrate that, we will get this result. Okay, 3t square integration of that. And then you can put the value of this boundary condition 2 and 0. We will get this much of Coulomb. A similar problem, determine the current flowing through an element if the charge flow is given by. So Qt is given 3t plus 8 mc milli coulomb. So I equal to what? dq by dt. So constant term, that will be 3 milliamp 3. Why it is milliampere? Because here it is millicoulomb. That's why it is milliampere. If it is given is, now see for second example, it is given in coulomb. So it is written ampere. Okay. So you have to take care of this part also. It is given in nanocoulomb. So you have to write in nanoampere. Picocoulomb, picoampere, microcoulomb, microampere. Okay. What you are doing is nothing but differentiation. So the differentiation of that, it is 16t plus 4. Now here exponential term, sine term, decaying cosine term. Okay. So we can differentiate that, you can find out. But unit, you have to always be careful. You have to be very careful writing the units, whether it is ampere, milliampere, nano, pico, micro. Depends on the unit of charge. Now find the charge flowing through a device if the current is given and some q initial q value is given. Then what is the value of q? In that case, q is nothing but integration of current into dt with respect to time plus q0. That is the integration constant. If q0 is 0, then no problem. Otherwise, you have to add that. This is ampere. So this will be 3t plus 1. This is 2t plus 5. If you integrate that, that will become t square plus 5t 0. So we don't have any extra term. Now here again gives you 2 microcoulomb. That's why here you have to add 2 microcoulomb here. So 2 into plus 1. That is 2 there taking 2. We are taking as common term. It is actually microcoulomb. So the unit you can again see ampere. So this is coulomb. Now it is current is milliampere, so millicoulomb. Microampere, so it is microcoulomb. This is ampere, so it is coulomb. So what we are doing only integration of the particular expression. Now say the charge entering a certain element is shown in this figure. Find the current at t equal to 1 millisecond. So this is the waveform of charge in millicoulomb. That is from 0 to 2 it is a linear, then constant, again it is linear. Right? That means at t equal to 1 millisecond, current is what? I equal to dq by dt. And dq by dt is nothing but what? Nothing but is the slope of the curve of this curve is the current. So t equal to 1 millisecond, I equal to dq by dt. Now here dq, that is q is up to 80 and this time is 2. So this slope is nothing but 40. It is 40 ampere. At during this 6 millisecond time, what happened? This is constant. So it is dq dt equal to 0. And again, this is a positive slope. This is negative slope. So here it become current is minus. This slope is minus. So this is 80 divided by time range is 4. So 80 by 4. Okay. Now for this case, the charge showing in a wire is plotted in figures gives the corresponding current. This is charge current is dq dt and this is 50 by 2. So 25. Now here this should be from 50 to minus 50, right? That means what? Total value is what? 100. Now x value is 2 to 6. So 400 by 4 is 25. Then this is minus because this is negative slope. And again this is positive slope. And this is going from minus 50 to 0. So total value is 50. And this y x axis difference is 2. 8 minus 6. So 50 by 2, 25. So from 0 to 2, it will be 25 ampere. From 2 to 6, it will be minus 25 ampere. Again, from 6 to 8, it is 25 ampere. So this is the plot of the current. Okay. And it is a square wave. It was a triangular wave. This is a triangular wave type function. This become a square wave. Now, this is the last problem. I think so. Okay. So the charge showing in a wire is plotted in figure scales the corresponding current. And now here, what you have to do is first write out the function for this plot. Use 2 points forms of lines and we have 4 data points. 1, 2, 3, 4 data point. Okay. X-axis is microsecond and y-axis is nanocoulomb. Now, then what is the slope of the unit? Slope of the unit will be y by x, that is a nanocoulomb by microsecond. And nano means 10 to the minus 9, here 10 to the minus 6. If you take two numerator, that becomes 10 to the power 6. 10 to the minus 9 into 10 to the power 6, that means 10 to the minus 3. So it milliampere. So current milliampere. If t in some second value, millisecond, microsecond, whatever, q in nanocoulomb, microcoulomb, whatever, we can find out the current by applying this simple method. Now there are 4 points. First point is 0, 0, next point is 215, next one is 450, next one is 70, right? That is x and y value, x comma y. Now for t equal to 0 to 2, okay, what we can see, we can write the equation, straight line equation, that is qt minus Q1 divided by T minus T1 equal to Q2 minus Q1 divided by T2 minus T1. That is the equation of straight line. So Q2 minus Q1 is 0, Q2 is 15. So 15 minus 0 and T2 is 2, T1 is 0. And here T and 0. So Q2 will be equal to what? Nothing but 7.5 T. Now at T equal to 2, it becomes 15. Now you can see here at T equal to 2, this value is nothing but 15. So it is correct way. Now for T from 2 to 4, what happens? Again we apply the Settler equation. Okay, Q1 is 15, Q2 is also 15. It is constant. 15 minus 15 here, it becomes 0. So Q2 is become what? Nothing but here Q1 is here, so it is become 15 only. Right? So Q2, Qt minus Q1, here Q1 is 15. Q2 equal to Q1, so it becomes 0 here, right hand side. Left hand side is becomes Q2 equal to now 15. Now which is 15 nanocoulomb. Now for 4 to 7, Q2 minus Q1, Q1 is 15, Q2 is 0. So Q2 here is 0, 15, right? So if you solve it, what you will get? Minus 5t plus 20. Okay. And Qt, that will be equal to what? Minus 15 here. That you have to take that side, so it becomes 35. Minus 50 plus 35. So this is what we are doing, is just applying the straight line formula. So check two limits. When t equal to 4, what happens? If you put it here, t equal to 4, 20 plus minus 25 plus 35, so plus 15, here plus 15. At 7, this should be 0. So at 7, 7 plus 5, 35 minus 55 plus 35 becomes 0. So these are correct. For t equal to q2 equal to 0. So what we can write? Q2 value 0 for t less than 0. From 0 to 2, value is 7.5 t. From t to t value 2 to 4, 15, 4 to minus 7, minus 5t plus 35, greater than 7 is 0. So this is a standard problem. Okay, and this kind of problem needs to come in GATE exam also. Now after that we can, this is the charge QT. Now from here we can find out current. Now current is dq by dt. So what is the current ddt of 7.5 t? That is nothing but 7.5. So less than 0, it is 0. When they 7.5, this is constant. If you do differentiation of constant, 0. Differentiation of this, that become minus 5. Okay. Again 0 is 0. So what is the current? See here dq dt 0. So that will be 0, 0, 7.5 t. If you perform the differentiation dq by dt, it will become 7.5, 7.5. And next is 15 is a constant. Constant of a differentiation of a constant is nothing but 0. So 0. Again minus 5t plus 35. If you differentiate that with respect to t, you will get minus 5. The current is 0 for t less than 0, 7.5. Between 0 to between 0 to 2, between 2 to 4 microsecond, it is 0. Again 4 to 7 minus 5 greater than 7, 0 in milliampere. Okay. Why milliampere? I think you remember the point, because charge is nanocoulomb, time is microsecond. That gives us milliampere. Okay. So this kind of problem, if you can get, you can practice more problem. I will provide you the more problems and you can solve them. Anyway, so thank you so much. So this is the basics of circuit theory or network theory subject. And all that we have discussed, that already you have done or you have studied in your 10 or class 12 course about charge, voltage, current, charge, voltage, charge, current, voltage, power, and energy, and some problem how to solve. Okay. So thank you so much.